And welcome to National Sounds of Gospel video, TV show, y'all, radio show, you name it. It's everything. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say one word: overcomers. I'm so inspired by our guest today. And it's not one, y'all, but it's two. And it's a mother and daughter duo. And y'all, I'm telling you, y'all bad. But listen, if you ever in H-Town, we're going to get into it. Y'all just pay attention, okay? Because I'm sending y'all to them. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So, from the trunk of her car, you talk about an overcomer. From the trunk of her car to this major boutique, this stylist, woman of God, has made moves like no other, has made moves with major people, major celebrities, major people, but it's only because of God who brought her through this situation. And then she gave birth to a beautiful daughter, y'all. I'm not going to tell y'all her name yet because I'll let you guys, when we get ready to talk, you guys understand why. This beautiful daughter who's paying attention to her mom watched what she did, and then turned around and began her own business at the age of 19. Y'all can't tell me that there's an age when God moves you to do something. But I'm telling you guys this: obstacles. When an obstacle comes, they did not allow anything to stop them in their tracks. In 2022, Houston had a major tornado that came through that destroyed the warehouse where both of their businesses and their inventories was. But God kept them. So I'm not going to say any more because I'm going to let them tell you their journey and how they shouted and praised and walked in faith all the way through it. Ladies and gentlemen, the CEO of Imari Boutique, Miss Martha E. Berry, and her beautiful daughter of I Say Collections, Miss Icelande Robinson.
Hi.
Oh, I'm so excited to get started, y'all. I'm so excited to get started. I'm so happy that you guys are here. Thank you so much for being on the show. I know you guys are busy, but I know you're busy because God has you on the move. So whenever God is doing something, don't ever let him stop you for anything. Get it done, get it done, get it done. So thank y'all so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So let's go ahead and talk. Overcomers. That's the first word that came to me. Overcomers. You guys have overcome so much. But mom, we're going to start with you, Miss Business Mogul. We're going to start with you. If you would please tell everybody, one, introduce yourself. Who are you? And let's talk because there's a lot of things. I love, you're so inspiring. Where you were inspired, who inspired you. We're going to talk about your mom. We're going to talk about everything, how this all led to Imari Boutique.
My name is Martha E. I'm originally from Franklin, Louisiana. I have been in Houston, Texas for 21 years. I would say that in order, for business, my mom inspired me. My grandmother, my aunt inspired me because I would go shopping with them every weekend. So I started off with fashion as a little girl, wearing the tulle dresses with the socks and the shoes, always in church. And then with my mom, she inspired me by being an entrepreneur because I first wanted to have a job at 13 and nobody would hire me because I was so young. So we started our, business of having a praise dance school. So I kind of got inspired by being an entrepreneur from my mom, but the fashion came from my grandmother and my aunt.
That's so funny that you say that because my grandmother and my mom, I have a daughter, she's 26 now. And every weekend, without fail, that child had a new dress. She had the dress, she had the shoes, she had the bobby socks, and she had a matching purse.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, okay, well, I found out that later on, that's what they used to do to me.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like the only girl. But that inspiration, just having them there and you being able to watch them do, put these styles and stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
What were you thinking when they were like matching the purse to the shoes and the shoes to the socks?
I hated it because the tool used to itch me. So, I was like, why I gotta wear this? Why I gotta do this? But when I was in pageants, I was a pageant girl. So like every time that I would win a pageant, I would have the big old pretty hair. So
Mhm.
I grew to like it, but then like I was always like, I gotta sit in the hair dryer for a long time. I gotta wear these tools, the slips under the skirt. I'm always
Yeah.
itching. But I love the fact of, just being able to be pretty. Like I was a pretty girl. Like I wanted to be pretty. I wanted to be a doll. So I love the fact of that. And I think that's why like it just stuck with me, like putting stuff together. Like I was always like I first started a long time ago being a person, the shopper, because
Mhm.
certain things that I would wear, somebody always was like, where did you get this from? Where did you get that from? So like I would always tell them, and I'm like, you know what? I'm about to stop telling my secrets and make this a business. So that was like one of the first things that I did was before I had my closet store was being a personal shopper.
Mm. And then in 2016,
In 2016, yes,
okay,
when I started the business.
wow. And so it went from there. So by 2020, your sales tripled.
Yes. In 2020, when COVID happened, I hit my first million. So like that was very inspired. I think I inspired myself because I had set the goal. I had a assistant, and I had set the goal January 1st. He was like, "We're gonna hit a million in 6 months," and I was like, "Dude, you're crazy!" Like, I have faith in God, but I just was like, "How I'm supposed to hit $1 million in 6 months?" Like, I barely hit that last year, like it was
Mhm.
really crazy to me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to what you say. I'm gonna take that in, and we gonna hit this million. And within 6 months, I hit $1 million during COVID, during the pandemic, like at the roughest time of the world. And I didn't know how to accept it because so many people were dying, so many people were sick. But at the
Right.
same time, God was like elevating me. And so it was like, oh my God, like I didn't really know how to accept it because I wanted to be happy, but it was so much hurt in the world, so it was kind of like a bittersweet moment that I
Mhm.
learned to adjust to and just be happy. Like was like, okay, no matter what, you still have to be happy because
Right.
God really did elevate you at a time, at a loss. And I started understanding at that moment that it's not about me. Like he used me at that lowest time to show people that it doesn't matter how low you are, that I could still raise you up and have you higher.
Exactly. That year truly changed people's faith.
Yes.
It changed not only how we moved in faith, but that year we saw crazy faith because you knew it was nobody but God.
Yeah.
And I will never forget that year and when that shift happened because I heard God say, I will make the tail the head
Hmm.
and the head the tail.
Yes.
And everybody that was moving and like all the big names, because if you remember, these big CEOs, multi-billion-dollar CEOs, were running for the hills.
Yeah.
They were leaving their own companies and running for the hills. And if you didn't have that faith in God or that relationship with God, you can
Hmm.
actually see where the lines were drawn
Yeah.
because you saw who was moving in fear, but you saw that, okay, God, I have faith, but stores are closing. We had to get to the stores quickly to get food and water and make sure that we have, but I remember the lines being 2 hours long in a Walmart.
I remember one point where me and like I would have a friend at one store, they'll be at Target, and I was at another store, and like we just trying to piggy in and just help each other out because we were running out of things. And like one thing that affected me and that messed with my faith, because I do have faith, but it was very tricky during that season, is that when I started seeing stores that I shopped at closed down. And I'm like,
Mm,
oh my God, like these stores were goals for me. So for
right.
me to start seeing like these big names and big brands close down, I was like, oh my God, like how I'm gonna sustain in this.
Yeah. That's a lot of places didn't recover.
Yes.
So how did you overcome that when the stores that you would normally do your personal shopping at, how did that change? Like how did God shift that to where that you were able to make that million in those 6 months with stores like that closing?
So 2 weeks before COVID came out, I had went and I leased a warehouse.
Mm.
So we didn't know anything about COVID. COVID was not even a subject, a topic at all.
Right.
And I don't know, like, when you buy something new, you like, I want to fill it up, I want to fill it up, I want to poof, I want new furniture, I want this, I want that. And
Mm-hmm.
so I went crazy. I went to my vendors and like I bought a warehouse full of inventory.
Mm.
I had no idea why this was happening. And then COVID hit, and then like all of my vendors were in LA and they were closed, they were shut down. But I had a warehouse full of clothes. So I was able to like keep my business going. But one thing about me, I'm not selfish. I'm not selfish. I'm a giver. And I had a lot of boutique friends who didn't have inventory. Like I was selling them inventory to sell to their customers because nobody had anything. And then I had so much favor with two vendors who would sneak into LA into their office and ship me the inventory. So they were shipping it to me and I was distributing out to everybody else. And so
Wow.
I just wanted to like make sure that they stayed in business because they trusted me to not say anything. And so that's when I was like, okay, God is really on my side. Like I'm really favored. And I just didn't want to just be selfish with it. But
Mm-hmm.
it was a very big eye opener for me to succeed and do well. And like I say, when I hit $1 million, I was like, the whole time we said it in January 1st, we didn't see it. And then like even when March, when COVID happened, it wasn't close to 1 million. And then, within 3 months to actually hit that million, like I was like, oh my God, like I can't believe this happened. Like I really freaked out.
Wow. Do you feel like God downloaded that into you, that thought came to you from God telling you go get a warehouse
I feel like all of a
before
sudden
it
I
all
just
happened?
woke up and I was like, I need to get a warehouse because I had my storefront was like long ways. And
Mm-hmm.
so we had already made like a little mini warehouse in the back of the store.
Mm-hmm.
So we were stuck up coming up. And I kept spending money having someone come in and try to redo this and redo that. Like I had just spent like $10,000 like moving the dressing room to one area, making the store smaller, buying new racks to be able to have a warehouse in the back of the store.
Mm-hmm.
So it got to the point to where we had boxes and inventory in the restroom. Like
Wow.
it was like no room, no, it was just horrible. So that's when I was like, I have to get a warehouse because my sales are steady increasing. And so
Mm.
that's what made me go and look for a warehouse. It was like March. I think I went the last week in February because when I signed the lease, it was like March 1st. And then COVID happened like 2 weeks after that.
Right.
I had just opened, like I had just purchased like all this inventory. I was like, I want, and they kept saying, why are you doing this? And I was like, because I want my shelves full. Like I want to, when I post this on social media, I want people to see a warehouse. Like I don't want them to see an empty space. And so
Right.
I remember like ordering all this inventory, even like ordering stuff for Iceland, just to make sure that we had enough to fill it up, not knowing that God was preparing us for the increase and for the overflow.
Mm. Oh, in the name of I can I'm serious. I cannot wait to get to Houston. Y'all are gonna be my first stop. I'm gonna be,
Yeah,
like, for real. Be like, I need a new outfit.
come on.
I
We
don't
got
even know where I'm going, but I need a new I need a new outfit. Wow, that is amazing because the way that God works, we can't even fathom how God works. It's just all about walking in that faith. And even if your faith isn't crazy faith, God is gonna make sure you know that it was Him that did it.
yes,
And he'll call you out and be like, "No, that wasn't you. Nope, that was me.
that was me.
Yeah, who else can do this and make it come out of that was me." So I thank God for how God moved with you. I mean,
Yes.
your entrepreneurial spirit started with praise dancing.
hmm
Tell me a little bit about that.
So I was a praise dancer. My mom and my brother, like we all was in church, and we all have the
Mhm.
Bible names: Martha, Joshua, and Joseph. So my mama kept us in church, but my mom know how to sing. I don't know how to sing. She used to put me up there and make me lead songs, and I was like, I can't sing. And then she'll take over the song, and then do her little runs and stuff, and I'm just sitting there looking crazy, like this is unbelievable. But my brother, one of my brothers played the bass. They were very instrumental, and my other brother played the drums, and so when praise dancing came about, I was like, I've always liked dance. I've always been in dance, like ballet, tap, and jazz. So I was like, okay, well, I'll be a praise dancer. And
Yeah.
so I was in praise dance, and it was first, it was me and two of my cousins, and then I ended up doing it by myself. And then I wanted a job so bad, and nobody would hire me because I was 13. So that's when mom was like, you know what, for the summer we'll open a praise dance clinic, because we were like the main praise dancers in our hometown. And so
Mm,
once we opened the clinic, we had like 100 students for the summer, and we had like a big production at the end. I mean, it was just
nice.
really phenomenal. So then we kept it, like we asked the parents, is this something that you guys want us to keep going like throughout the school year? So we went through it, and just kept going. And then when I had Iceland, of course, like I kind of backed out of it because I'm a teenage mother pregnant. So it was kind of like you don't want to, encourage the kids the wrong thing. So what I would do is I would teach my cousin, and then she would go and teach them until after Iceland was born. But one thing I gotta say, is that the mothers did, they forgave me, and they supported me through it. Like, they didn't judge me or anything like that. So it was very good. I loved it. And then of course when I moved to Houston, I just kind of, left that part alone and just came here and started my life over.
Wow. No praise dance studio in Houston?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
I can't. I'll be out of breath. I can't be doing that no. I tried it in at my old church in, I want to say it was like 2016, 2017. I was
Hmm.
like, I got to give it up. Like, I was the oldest person. I was like, this is not for me anymore. And I was so busy because, like, at that time, I was a single parent, with my two girls. I'm working a full time job, having to pick them up from school, trying to get to praise dance rehearsal. And then, it was just a lot. So that was just something I prayed about it. And I was like, God, like, I know it was a gift that I had and I still have it, but I was like, God, what is it that you want me to do? Because I didn't want him to feel like I was putting my business before him. And
Right.
so I do know that God is not the author of confusion. So I say, if it's for me to still do it, I'll be able to do it with the job, with my girls. And it just wasn't working out. So it was something that I put to the side. But, I still attended church, still worship, still was there every Sunday. So I still was involved in church. It's just that I was no longer doing the praise dancing part.
I got you. Well, believe you me, I understand. I'm in my late 40s, and don't. Oh, he's gonna see this.
I told your age.
Yeah, yeah. But we'll talk about the other part after the show. Listen, just keep doing what you're doing, people. Normally, I stop and I'll talk and I'll tell them for a second. Hold on, I'm gonna put you guys on pause. Listen, people. I just went skating again with my sisters. I'm 48. Don't tell my husband my knees hurted after. Okay, so we back. Yeah. So I understand. I don't praise dance. I like to skate, but
Ooh.
I most definitely understand what you talk about.
And
There's
it's
some
crazy because with me dancing, I couldn't catch my balance with skating.
really
Hmm.
okay. Yeah, we're gonna talk about this stuff after the show. It's called National Sounds of Gospel After Show.
Yeah.
We almost definitely talk about it. Iceland.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, sweetheart. One, you're beautiful. Thank you for being here with your mom. How does your mom inspire you?
She inspires me, of course, from watching her grow her business to be successful, and now I have a successful business. Just watching her, everything that we have been through, building the business. The mistakes that she have made, she's teaching me now not to make those same mistakes. So just learning, how to run the business, how to make it successful, like everything throughout the business inspires me, and that's how I'm successful today.
That's what you call teamwork makes the dream work.
Hmm.
Yes.
There's people out there that don't have that support.
Right.
Especially being an entrepreneur, following their dreams and following what God has told them to do, to actually stepping out on faith
Hmm.
and being able to do it. Congratulations, graduate of Prairie View A&M.
Yeah.
Girl, you gotta get it.
Thank
And
you.
learning. So is there a book you have that's out, kind of like an ebook? What we talking about, honey?
Yes, so after I recently just graduated last December, I came out with a ebook online. It is Juggling It All, and it's a guide to how you can achieve success in your 20s. And basically, I get like a lot of questions in my DMs and from class, like, Icy, how did you do it all? You know, when I was in school, I was learning, I was still learning, but also having to work the business. So a lot of times people tell me that I'm an inspiration because they're just like, what freshman really is, you know, making all A's, you know, head on a good shoulder, running a business, going back and forth from Houston to Prairie View. So I was like, let me put this in a book because, you know, I do know that I'm an inspiration. And not only has the book helped, you know, young adults that are in their 20s, but the feedback that I have got from older women, you know, saying, hey, this book helped me too. Like, you spoke some life into me, you know, and I'm 40, 50, or, you know, whatever older age I am. So
Mhm.
that's really, you know, what's in the book, you know, just juggling it all, you know, learning life and balance, how to do it all. That's what's in the book.
In 2 years, you made some major financial moves with your I Say collection.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I can't even bring my eyes from underneath the rim of my hat. Not one, 2 years. It takes so many people, if they don't have that business mind. I'm sorry. Was that a ring out of nowhere? Okay. Yes. National Sounds of Gospel. You don't know what's gonna happen here. But in 2 years, 2 years, you made major. I mean, look, I'm not trying to talk about your finance, but financially, God released on you in a major way. Not in 10 years, where sometimes it takes people 3, 4 years to really get a business up and going. But in 2 years, that's amazing. And
Mm-hmm.
you were 19. Girl, I can tell you where I was at 19.
Me too.
I wasn't in the business. I wasn't running the business. But at 19, you are such an inspiration. And there's so many. We see what's out there. We see what's on TV. We see the role models that the world is trying to tell us we need to emulate and to copy and to dress like and, and to be like. And I thank you for changing the narrative, because there's little girls that need to see, oh, I don't have to be like that. I don't have to dress like that. I don't, YouTube doesn't have to be my career goal. Love you, YouTube, but I mean, people are making careers out of being on television, and at a young age they need something that they're able to look. I have two granddaughters, and one of them, her nickname is Icy,
Oh.
and she is, I call her classic because she loves to dress, she loves to take pictures, and she has this little like classic Shirley Temple look. The cheeks are just adorable. But I love it when I'm with them. I try to inspire them to be who they want to be who God is making them to be, even at a young age. That's needed. So for you to be able to look at your mom at the age of 6 and to pay attention and to listen to what she's telling you, and to then go to college, graduate, and during that time have your business and become a mogul in your own right is amazing. And I will tell you, do not stop what you're doing. You are going to be the ones that these young ladies, even these young men, need to watch and emulate. So God has you in a place where he needs you to be that one that they can follow, and then they can see, and then they can come to and ask questions. Your aura, everything about you, the essence of you is just pure. I mean, I love it. I'm just gravitating to you. You lucky you sitting on the other side over there in Houston. So tell us about the tragedy, 2022 Houston. Everything was destroyed. The warehouse, both Both of you guys' collection was in that warehouse. How did you overcome? How did you regroup?
It
This is
oh
real
God,
good, y'all.
it was nobody but God. Like when I got that type of phone call, it was like 7 o'clock in the morning. It was my cleaning people calling because they cleaned the gym that was next door.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm half asleep. I used to have sleep. So I'm running through the house like Iceland, Iceland. They say that the warehouse is gone. And we had got the alert early that day. We had went shopping. So we got the alert. Well, in Houston, who have tornadoes. So I just deleted it and kept
Right.
going because it never happened. We got home by 9 o'clock that night. And so to get that type of phone call, which I'm glad I got the phone call and not went to my DMs because the news had showed it like at 6 o'clock that morning, and I had over 100 DMs of people saying like I'm praying for you. So that would have really shocked me, if I would have went to my DM. So
Right.
I hair up and I got dressed and I was like, it can't be that bad. It can't be that bad because I'm down the street where it's at and I don't see nothing. Everything is good. And so then we kept driving and kept driving. And once we hit it, and I saw like my logo, I'm like, okay, that's if you see my logo, where's the beauty shop? So like the beauty shop was to the ground.
Mm.
So I'm like, oh my God, like I can't believe what's happening. It was very devastating. I wasn't even worrying about money at that point. I was just like everything that I worked for, like my confidence, like, my customers. Like I was more concerned with my customers. Like, I've gained a lot of friends. I have a big customer base. Like, I feel like we have a rapport with customers where every week they're looking for us, whether it is to buy inventory. It's like they're always looking for, Martha, always looking for Icy, always looking for Amari. So I was just like, oh my God, like how I'm going to come back from this. Yes, I had insurance and all those different things, but that wasn't even a factor at that moment. I was
Right.
just, I lost everything. Like to see from the office to the roof just gone, all the inventory just all over the streets and water and flooding. It was very devastating, and I kept trying to tell myself because I had a meeting 2 days after the tornado hit. I was scheduled to have a meeting to go into a bigger warehouse space, but
Mm.
I kept pushing the meeting back. And
Wow.
so, because I was paying little rent, so I was like, I want to keep paying my little rent. I don't want to move and go pay higher rent. So
Right.
I think that God had to like push me out,
Push
like,
you out.
I'm gonna get you out because, and it was, to be honest with you, my warehouse was an unsafe environment. I feel like because I had
Mm.
staff falling, like it was so much in there. It took us longer to do orders because we didn't have space. So of course we had
Mm.
to go from one side to the other. We falling down. It was just a lot, and I think that he had to push me out of it in case something was to happen. Like all of us had outgrew our spaces that were over there, like every business owner, and
Wow.
so after the first day after the news and the tragic, and then like I took a break to just like kind of sit down and just say like, God, why me? And then he started to reveal to me, well, why not you?
Why
Why
I was,
elevate
girl, I
you?
was just about to say the same
Why can't
thing. Why
I
not
elevate
you?
you? Why can't I? Because I'm looking at, I closed with the biggest number ever in 2021. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm on a high, like, oh my God, like this is the biggest year ever. Like I quadrupled what I did the year before. So, I was just like, God, like, why me? Like, why would this happen to me? Like, I'm always giving people, I'm always doing for people. But he was like, why not you? I know you had a good year last year, but now you're going to have an even better year. And so once I realized that this was elevation, this was to push me out, this was for us to grow, this was for us to expand, like to go
Mm-hmm.
from 2,500 square feet to 7,500 square feet, like,
Mm.
like we got a Walgreens or something, like, it's huge and it's major. So once I started to accept that he wanted to bless me, then I was able to, the depression left, the anxiety left, because I have anxiety, and I have went through depression and I've been delivered from it. But when that tornado hit, I felt that thing coming back on me. And
Oh
so
yeah.
once I started to realize, like, accept what God is trying to do, accept what he's trying to give you. and just accept where you are and know that he's not going to leave me. He's
Yeah.
always there with us. And so once I started to accept it, and then everything started to like,
Fall
okay,
into place.
yes, it started to fall into place. I started to accept it. I started to feel better. And then I was like, woo, like I'm going into something like this is crazy. This is major. And it was hurtful. You know, people say so many rude things when you go through
Oh, girl.
tragics. Like it was just crazy the type of feedback that we would receive. But I had 100% better feedback that I would look at the positive and just dwell on that, because a lot of people want to see you fall, and
Of
a lot of
course.
times when you're up, they like, oh yeah, you know, it's good for her to fall down. She don't need this. But my God made sure that no matter what anybody said,
Come
that
on now.
on top, he made sure that he used us as an example. I know that this was nothing but God wanted to add as a testimony,
Mm-hmm.
because what happened at that warehouse, I was just grateful wasn't there, because the lights would always go off. Like we would work if it rained. When we got tornado alerts, we would work. Like we didn't pay no mind to that, because the way how the windows were, it was so much bright light in there. So I was more thankful that I wasn't hurt, my staff wasn't hurt, that it wasn't a fatality. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you saw on camera how that tornado hit, it wasn't like a ripple. It went like boom. We would have been dead. Like so, I had to also thank God for that. That I may have lost inventory, but we have life. Like
Right.
I may have lost, all this stuff, all these, the furniture, the glam, the glitz and the glam, but we have joy, we have peace. Like we were
Mm-hmm.
able to walk away from this thing and know that okay, God got us. Like what's next? What we're gonna do? Let's bounce back. Like we don't got time to be depressed. Let's bounce back. Like our customers waiting on us. Like they would DM us daily. Like we love y'all, we miss y'all. I mean, the support was so overwhelming, but it
Yeah.
so good and we needed it, and we really needed it, because we both was like looking at each other like, oh my God, what is happening? But God doesn't make any mistakes. And
No,
I
he
don't look
doesn't.
at it as it was a tragic, but it was not a mistake. It was something for him to just make us bigger and better. And
He
so
had
now
to
we're in a
elevate you.
bigger and better place, and we're starting to see a light.
Come on now. You know what's sticking with me is that you said I was right up the street and it didn't touch you.
Hmm.
Where I know that there were several residential areas
Yeah.
as well as the business areas that were hit
Mhm.
catastrophically and lives were lost
Yeah.
during that storm. I'll never. I mean, here we have friends that are in the Houston area,
Hmm.
family that are in the Houston area that were leaving when that came through, and to know that you were right up the street is like God kept a hedge of protection
Protection.
around you guys where it didn't even touch you,
Hmm.
and to be able to go and wait till you get around the corner to see the devastation that you were kept from. Nobody but God, especially
Right.
you know when he's trying to, when God is knocking down the next domino,
Hmm.
because we like to get comfortable.
Yes,
you
that's
know
the
we're,
word,
you know
comfortable.
we like to get comfortable, but God's like, yeah, no, I'm getting ready to make you uncomfortable,
Hmm.
and just so I can go ahead and elevate you, because there's purpose in where I need you, what I need you to do. There's a purpose behind, I need to move you so
Hmm.
we can get to the next phase
Yes.
of your life, because there's people that are waiting,
Hmm.
and there's souls that are waiting that need to be touched by this. So just knowing that that testimony, I was right up the street and didn't get touched.
Yeah.
My family is still alive and well and unharmed and unhurt. The
Hmm.
only thing that was lost was the building, but God knows how to restore. Girl,
Yes, it does.
y'all messing me up tonight. I'm
And
serious.
the crazy part is, I had a friend who blessed the building, and he put a cross over the glass doors, and everything crushed down except those glass doors with that crush
I
and with
saw
the
it.
cross on it. Yeah,
I saw the
you could see it
photos.
from the news, like you could see it from the pictures, like that cross just it was just there.
Oh my goodness. All you saw was you can see directly through
Mhm.
outside everything, but that part was left standing.
Yes.
So, little mama, did you get your shout on?
Yes, that, oh Jesus, it was, that was devastating. And I think like one of the hardest things for me, for us both, was like when I would cry, she would try to be strong. Then like it was just a lot going on. But it was like in my mind, I was just like, oh my goodness, we gotta clean up this stuff. How we gonna do it? Like, I didn't know we could bounce back. Like, I knew we was gonna bounce back, but still in my head, it was like we're starting from rock bottom. So,
Mm-hmm.
are we really gonna be able to do this? And of course, it was like getting overwhelming because people want to ask you so much stuff. They want to like. It's like I'm still trying to soak this in and process everything was
Right.
in front of me. But like I say, like Mom said, we got through it. But of course, at first it was like a little rocky and stuff. But I remember, when we did find a new warehouse, like we was at the old warehouse, jumping up, taking pictures, like excited that we knew eventually where we were going to be moving to, or whatever like that. And then us transitioning into like the temporary spot, getting ready for the actual warehouse that we're in now. That kind of was like a relief because it was like, okay, we're moving somewhere in temporary. So we know the bigger space is coming, but they still had to do the build out. So I think like overall, it started to be getting excited, and I started to gain back confidence, like knowing, hey, our customers waiting on us. As soon as we get back in there, as soon as we start back doing photo shoots, they gonna be waiting on us. So
Hey,
that that transitioning, helped me get through the process.
that's amazing. It's amazing how you can go, and I think it was said best, from uncertainty to fearlessness, from obstacle to overcomer.
Mm-hmm.
This journey that, and if you think about it, and I'm sorry because God is just speaking down, He's speaking right now. He gave you your beautiful daughter at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
And you might not have known what to do, but you had the support of your family. It was meant for her to be here for a time such as this.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you turn and you look, and I can feel right now that there's moments, as God is showing me you, that there's moments in Iceland, you might not even know it, but there's moments when your mom looks at you and she's thinking back, I remember when.
Mm-hmm.
I remember everything that up until this point. I remember the struggles. I remember the hurt. I remember the pain. I remember maybe there were people there that weren't supportive, but then there was a whole group of people that God put around you. And
Right.
you can say, I remember when. I remember when we had to transition. And that's all during all these thoughts are going through your mom's mind by just taking one glimpse at you.
Ooh. Mm.
Just taking a look at you and saying, I remember when, and that praise. When Satan would try to take you out in a tornado, Satan tried to take you out in a marriage. God had to move you from Franklin all the way to Houston. And all I can hear God is saying, I see you saying, I remember when. But look at us now. You had to take that Abraham walk. You had to leave your family, your church, your friends, and go to Houston. And you might not have known where it was going to come from, but God made sure that everything was laid out for you. And you can look back and say, I remember when. You remember those itchy skirts? I remember them too, girl. My mama used to put those things on me, make the dress look all full and frilly. Iceland, they weren't cute. Y'all were lucky. Okay. We didn't do that to y'all. but remembering when and seeing how far God has brought you, I'm seriously, I have chills right now because it's not just a success story, but this is a journey and a testimony to single moms that you can make it. You can be a business owner, you can be a mother, you can be that one to support your children in what they're trying to do. You can make it. Walk with God, get that relationship, and watch Him move. Because He moved for me, He moved for you, He's moving for your daughter. She's only 23. You 23?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
ma'am.
23 years old. You haven't even hit half a century yet.
Mm-hmm.
And he's moving. Okay. I'm calming down, calming down. Okay, God. Thank you. Tell me about Imari Cares, your nonprofit.
So my nonprofit, I've been doing a little changes with it, but my nonprofit is to cater to business owners who are looking to open boutiques or open any business, helping them, with their LLCs. Also, because I struggle with being homeless and went through domestic violence, so it's also with helping, women who have went through domestic violence or who are homeless. Help them start businesses, help them with placement. If they lost their home, if they're homeless or something. And then also one thing that we're starting to touch on now is like helping college students and helping high schoolers who are graduating, where I
Mhm.
have been, scouting people who have entrepreneur spirits. And so like helping them with their graduation, helping them like move into college and supporting them financially and just being like a mentor to them. So that's what Marie Cares is about. It's about helping, helping men, women, kids, whoever, when it comes to being an entrepreneur, but as still helping them, like if they're homeless or facing any type of domestic violence and abuse.
That's important. I mean, that's we see it so much, and it's needed. It's
Yeah.
needed, and thank you for having that set up. Then now, does this help just in the Houston area, or is it national?
It's national. I've helped, people in Louisiana, whatever state they're from, whoever we choose or, for it. It's not really, it's up and running. I have been
Mhm.
doing a little stuff, but we're still building it up. I just had a meeting with my accountant 2 days ago. So we're still building it and taking it to another direction because I was like, I want to be able to help more people, like students and males and females versus just domestic violence, because you don't want nobody to go to domestic violence. And I
Right,
would be like, oh, I can't help you because you wasn't abused.
right.
So I've been talking, trying to um, reposition it and change it to where I can help more people and make it more broad.
Awesome. Well, you
Yes.
know what? Whenever you get it up and going, we're here to
Yes.
support. I want you to come back. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna put it out there. We're gonna let everybody know where they can go once you have it up and going. And this is y'all. This is just an addition to what's already happening with the Imari Boutique. Now, how can we go shopping with you, honey?
You can shop at shopamareboutique.com. That's SHOPIMAREBOUTIQUE. So it's shopamareboutique.com.
Awesome. And Miss Iceland,
Hey,
how can our girls and young ladies shop with you? And what sizes, like what women or teen or adult, like what's your niche for who's your everyday woman? Who are you dressing?
so I like to say that my boutique has clothes for every boss. So whether you're a boss in college, whether you're a boss in a warehouse, whether you're a boss in McDonald's, wherever you at,
Come on now.
I have the fit for you. So when I first started off, I would range from out for ages like around 18 to 25. But
Mhm.
now I have outfits that, if you're an older woman, if you just want to get a cute set, it is available. So I'm more open. Of course I do cater mostly to my age, but I still will have something available for everyone. My website is www.shopicee collection collections.com.
Awesome. Now, where can we get your book?
on that website. So as
on
soon
the
as
website.
yes,
Okay.
as soon as you go to the website, the book will be the first thing that pops up, and then
Okay.
you get press that. It takes you straight to everything, and then of course, if you want to shop for new arrivals, all of that is on the same website.
Ladies, you guys have blessed my spirit.
You have blessed me. You got me crying.
You got me shouting. I can't shout until after this is over. Hello. Yes, I'm so ready to jump out this chair. But you guys have truly blessed my spirit.
Thank you.
And I will tell you guys this: come back, come back, come back. If there's a new outfit, something you guys want to showcase, come back. We're gonna put it out there because I'm gonna come. Y'all look, y'all got a new customer.
Come on.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
I'm gonna buy from it. Look, I will be in Houston soon.
Awesome. Make sure you
Yeah,
contact us. You can come on
y'all
to the warehouse.
don't don't make me drive tomorrow. Y'all lucky y'all got something to do. But National Sounds of Gospel, listen. I'm so happy that you guys are tuning in. Now, ladies, this is what I do because I always end because we're gonna go get ready to go to a video, right? So I say let's get it, and I want you guys to say let's go. Okay? All right. So, guys, you heard it here first. We got Miss Martha E and Miss Iceland. That's Mari Boutique, and that's Icy Collections. Look,
It's
I
frozen.
need a little icy in my life. I got one, now I got two. But we're getting ready to go into our video. Are you guys ready? Y'all are gonna say let's go. I'm gonna say let's get it.
Yes,
We're
it
getting
keeps
ready to go
freezing.
to
That's why we're waiting to hear
the
it.
video. So
Let's
Let's
go.
go. Let's go.
It keeps freezing.
this is
Like
gonna
we
be
can't
the
even hear
blue.
you.
Let's you soon. We are getting ready to. All right, I'll see you guys in just one moment.